The USL Championship is back, and it's week 31, presented by Abrazo Health. Phoenix Rising FC back at home to face off against their Western Conference rivals in New Mexico United here at Phoenix Rising FC Stadium at 38th and Washington. I want to welcome you in here tonight to Phoenix, an absolutely beautiful night for some soccer. Killian McClatchy, my partner as always, Joe Lowry. And Joe, it's a derby day. It's an exciting night with a lot to play for as we inch closer and closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, very much so. New Mexico United waiting to clinch that spot in the postseason. And for Phoenix Rising, it is a huge night tonight. If things go the wrong way for them around the rest of the Western Conference in the USL Championship, they could be sitting below the playoff line by the end of the evening for the first time in a long time. Yeah,
if New Mexico gets themselves a point tonight, they will clinch. There's some other scenarios. We'll go over those as the night goes on. We're going to start off with our Circle K players to watch, though. First off, for the home team, it's the magnificent Englishman, Charlie Dennis. A brace last week, a much-needed brace to help keep this team where they are.
The reigning USL Championship Player of the Week, Charlie Dennis, has been immense for Pamadouka on the right wing, getting involved in goals, creating chances as well. His idea, Pamadouka, to play Charlie Dennis higher up the field, certainly paying off the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you see that free kick goal. That was late in the match. It was a much-needed one, helped draw them back in. As you mentioned, Player of the Week last week in the USL Championship. This is a guy, Pamadouka, he said, this guy wants it. He wants to be here. He wants to win, and it was proven last week with that Player of the Week. Over on the other side, though, for New Mexico United, they've got who could be considered a Phoenix Rising killer, Mukwele Akale. He's been really good this season. He loves playing Phoenix.
Yeah, scored out here in this building at 38th and Washington in the Jägermeister Cup. That wild 3-3 game between Phoenix Rising and New Mexico United. He is a constant threat on that right side, leads the team in goal contributions this season. He is a real player to watch for this New Mexico outfit.
And by the way, he was the guy that eliminated Phoenix Rising in the playoffs last year. Well, don't go anywhere. We got starting lineups and kickoff on the other side of this break. Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United, coming up next.
When you trust your heart to Abrazo Health, you're choosing one of the Valley's largest networks of cardiologists.
Nationally recognized for the heart care we provide and a dedicated heart hospital.
You're choosing a team who has dedicated their lives to help save yours.
We are here for every heartbeat, from preventative diagnostic testing
to performing complex, life-saving heart surgeries.
In matters of the heart, we believe it's a journey that we all take together.
Because heart care is better together.
Hey, John Hamm.
Hey, Gare Bear.
You still coming to my dog's birthday party?
I would, but I have to sell my car.
Well, just sell it to Carvana.
Carvana, huh?
Great offers, 100% online. They'll pick it up. You told me about Carvana.
Did I?
And isn't that your car?
I mean, that could be anybody's car. Okay, fine. I sold it to Carvana. Thank you. Whoa.
So you'll come?
I just sold my car. What, am I going to walk? Sell your car to Carvana today.
There's satisfaction in sacrifice, in spilling blood, sweat, and tears, in knowing that you left it all on the floor and never threw in the towel. Well, except to clean up the mess. Giving it all for your team is worth every drop. Modelo, brewed for fans with a fighting spirit.
And now, everybody who's fueled by your local Circle K. There's flower shop owners, neighborhood bakers, awesome food truck sandwich makers, gearheads, mighty motorheads, farmers and their farmsteads, life-saving physicians and head-banging musicians, that guy who helps you change your spare, and rock star nurses. Hey. The people we rely on every day are fueled by Circle K every single day. Fueled by Circle K.
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Carvana, ASMC, and America First. 10-12 overall, and New Mexico United as we get ready to go here on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. As you see Phoenix Rising donning the white with the pink. A big match tonight for these two Western Conference foes. It's a rivalry. It's a derby day. A lot to play for here tonight, Joe. We did just find out officially going final. Colorado Springs with 3 points. New Mexico United needs a win tonight to clinch, and here is the starting 11 for New Mexico United.
Yeah, it's a good squad from Dennis Sanchez, one of his first choice looks. A couple of players key to this group, though, on the bench, Yunusman Jabang and Valentin Noel. Keep an eye, as we said in the open, on Mukwele Akale over on that right side. Tricky winger scored against Rising earlier on this season in the Jaeger Cup.
Yeah, same 11 that they sent out last week in that 2-1 victory over Lexington SC. Over on the other side, it's a bit of a mix-up for Pamoduka's Phoenix Rising side. A lot of changes going on, most notably no Hope Avievu in the 11. Feeling a little under the weather coming into the day. He is available off the bench, though.
Yeah, about a flu coming through this Phoenix Rising locker room, so Hope on the bench, as you said. One name to note, Jean-Eric Morsu, making his first ever start for Phoenix Rising, the 20-year-old Cameroonian signed in the summer transfer window. It's going to be a defensive-minded midfield trio due to that flu with JP Skiers, Carl Saint, and Jean-Eric Morsu.
The other big one, Asel Asenge, sliding over to left back tonight to fill the spot there with no Daniel Flores. He is unavailable tonight after being sent off last week with a double yellow and a red card. As we now want to bring you tonight's Lowry's Lowdown, presented by Peoria Nissan. We don't have many of these left, folks, so cherish them while we do have them.
That's exactly right. Checks in the mail. Killian, that's good stuff. For Phoenix Rising, it's about staying compact defensively. It's now been 3 weeks in a row where Rising have entered halftime down 2 goals, especially against New Mexico United, who want to keep the ball, staying tight defensively and then attacking in transition with Hope Avievu on the bench of note. That's going to be key for Rising. And then for New Mexico United, they should expect to have a good chunk of the ball. That's how they want to play under Dennis Sanchez. All season long, they have been the protagonist. That's the word that Sanchez likes to use. So for New Mexico, expect to have possession, but the key is what happens after you lose it. We know that Phoenix Rising, even with the depleted 11, can be dangerous on the break. New Mexico United have to be alert in those transition moments to snuff out those attacks before they really begin.
It certainly will be. I know we'll talk a little bit about this. This is a New Mexico team. They like to have the ball at their feet a lot. It was something that you found earlier as we got the availability report for you tonight. It is a whole list tonight for Phoenix Rising. No Ping, Arase, Traore, Damian Rivera, and then Emmers and Flores, as we said, out tonight with that red card for Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, it's a whole list. You know when you got to break out the second column that this is a serious thing. And Cian Emmers, I love that you called that out, Killian, being on that availability report. He would be a name that would be a logical one to put into this 11 when you're missing someone like Avievu, where Cian Emmers has played high up the field, even in the attacking line at times this year, but is really a central midfielder at heart. He's a guy that would be a natural fit for a game like this, but is not fully healthy for this game. And so you do have 3 players in Carl Saint, Skiers, and Morsu who are very combative at their best. I'm really curious to see what this midfield trio ends up looking like tonight.
Here's the head referee for tonight, Adhan Yaya. Getting ready to put it into play. Phoenix Rising, who said, donning the all-white with the pink accents and pink numbers. New Mexico United, the teal tops, black numbers, back shorts for the visitors. It's a derby day. Phoenix Rising, they've technically taken both matches so far this season. They took the first meeting in New Mexico. It was a 2-1 victory. Ended up a draw in the Jägermeister Cup. Ultimately came away with the points in penalties in that Jägermeister Cup meeting, but we are officially underway for match day number 31 between these two foes. Pamoduka said last week about coming into this one, it's a derby. This is one of the ones that you got to get up for. This is one as a coach that I wish I could put the boots back on and play in.
Yeah, very much so. He talked about how he doesn't always miss the game, but moments like this make him miss being out there on the field and playing. A rivalry that has tons of history, Killing. You talked about Mukwele Akale knocking this Phoenix Rising team out of the postseason last year. There have been playoff matchups. There have been cup matchups. Another regular season meeting tonight between two teams that don't like each other one bit.
We'll see how it goes this evening as Popmar Boy back into the starting 11 tonight, donning the captain's armband. There's Jean-Eric Morceau. It's one of his first touches. First start of the very young career for the Cameroonian midfielder on loan from Valenciennes. A side from France is on loan with an option to buy. So certainly looking to try and impress, and see if he can't stick around in the Valley of the Sun.
And it's Morsu starting as that deep-lying pivot with J.P. Skiers stepping higher up into that number 8 role. So you have Skiers and Saint high up playing as those dual free 8s in Pamadou Ka's 4-3-3. Morsu sitting deep, and then Asela Senge, who's going to effectively operate tonight as more of a stay-at-home left back. A lot of combative players, a lot of defenders in this group.
As Isan Sako getting the start on the left wing, plays it back to Asenge. Asenge going to cross it in. Nobody's there, though. And Chris Shakes will punch it down. Maybe a little bit of what you may have missed on this New Mexico United side. 12, 10-4 overall in the season. 40 points coming in. Third coming into the evening. As we said, they do need 3 points tonight to officially clinch their spot in the USL Championship playoffs. The team, 36 goals scored, 34 allowed over the course of the season, and they love to possess the ball. You found this stat out a little bit earlier, but only one match this season they have been outpossessed.
Yeah, it's away to Louisville. It's the only time all season long where New Mexico United have had sub 50% possession in the USL Championship. This team under Dennis Sanchez knows exactly how they want to play.
There's a ball fed through. Carl Saint was trying to find Isan Sako. Sako takes a little bit of a shove, and Shakes throws it back out as New Mexico looks to try and alleviate a little bit of this early pressure from Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, and interesting to see that Phoenix Rising haven't been shy early on as there's Charlie Dennis sliding in. Haven't been shy one bit about getting up in the face of New Mexico United. Pamadou Ka knows full well exactly how New Mexico want to play. They want to keep the ball. They want to have as many short passes building up from the back as possible to try to draw in the opposition before playing and beyond. They lead the USL Championship in passes per game. They're also the least vertical passing team in the USLC, which means they don't play the ball long very often at all. They'd rather build systematically, and we're seeing that here.
Here's Mukwele Akale, one of his first touches on the night, working his way forward. Going to give it off. Lindsay helping out in attack. Gets knocked down. Asenge leaps right back up into the center, deflected away but not fully out of danger. Harris tries to curl one towards the top corner, but too tall.
And that's how dangerous New Mexico United can be when they have a chance to build up from their own third. They're more capable than almost any other team in the USL at breaking through pressure. They move it up to that right wing. The ball ends up trickling through for Dayon Harris, who tries to guide it into that upper corner of Patrick Kurkowski's net. New Mexico, though, firing early.
A big thing for this Phoenix Rising club. They've struggled early in matches the last couple weeks. They're on a 7-match unbeaten run. It's 5 consecutive draws, though. All 3, or let's should say the last 3, they've been multi-goal deficits that they've chased down.
Hey, talk about that unbeaten streak. It really doesn't feel like that. Killian, watching this team or being around this team, the mood around this club is not one of a team that has been unbeaten for that long. Mm-hmm. It's one of a team that's still trying to prove themselves. It feels like they have something to prove because the results have not been what they believe this talent should be delivering. When you look at this group, it's been 3 straight weeks where they've been trailing by multiple goals heading into the break. That's a huge problem. And you see some of these changes in the lineup. Yes, many necessitated by that bug that's gone through this team. But also when you look at Pat Marboy, say, coming back into the center back pairing, I don't think that's a surprise. Getting Phoenix Rising's best defensive center back into this lineup, it's been needed for this group because they have been so leaky in transition and they've been so leaky early in games. That's been a big theme for this group.
And Pat Marboy, he's one of those guys that he obviously excelled last season. He was one of the bright rookies in the league and suffered a bit of an injury at the early part of the season, missed a good chunk of it, and then just never really seemed to get his footing back and had a really, really good showing last week when he came on.
Yeah, and Pamadou Ka recognized that, talked about it in his post-game press conference. Pat Marboy's been in a difficult situation this year, Killian, because he still doesn't thrive as an on-ball presence, right? When the ball's at his feet and he's tasked with playing through pressure, that is still not an area of strength like it is for Rafa Shihus, who's starting next to him tonight, certainly the veteran, or even someone like Asela Senge or Carl Saint, who have all played in the middle of that back line. And so when Pat Marboy comes back from injury, he's not first choice. And consistently, Pamadou Ka looks to Carl Saint to be that player next to the other center back, whether that is Asela Senge or Rafa Shihus. And so now Pat Marboy has a chance, as Phoenix Rising continue to struggle defensively, to really assert himself back in this 11.
That was a good little rundown there as the ball sent out over to this right side. Colin Smith, fresh as the ink officially just dried on his new contract extension he signed earlier this week, trying to feed one through for Charlie Dennis. Officially signed through 2027 for Colin Smith as Dennis tries to feed one through. That one got all the way around as Asenge up helping out. Skier's trying to shoulder off a defender. Ball ends up back at Charlie Dennis's feet. Wants to get it to his right. This one going towards the frame of goal, just over the crossbar as Shakes didn't get a finger to it, and it will be a goal kick.
Oh, and that's exactly the sort of sequence I think you want if you're Pamadou Ka. That's J.P. Skiers again being liberated to play higher up the field, bodying Gideon Zalalam off the ball to move it onto Charlie Dennis's foot. A rare bit of right-footed service from Dennis Killian, as you pointed out. But when you have these eights in Saint and Skiers playing higher up the field, you need them to force turnovers and to win those physical battles, because Rising don't have the chance creators in the lineup necessarily to expect a lot of success when they continue to hold the ball. They want to be really effective, Rising tonight, in those exact sorts of transition moments.
Look out for a throw-in. I want to remind you that the USL is on ESPN2 tomorrow, October 5th, for a clash of championship teams fighting for their playoff lives. Eastern Conference Rhode Island FC battles to stay above the line, and Western Conference Las Vegas Lights looks to climb above the line. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Marceau taken away from him. Here's an opportunity in transition. Shihus gets a foot in and deflects it away. Akale has to come back to it and keep possession, at least for the moment. Good little turn there from Zico Bailey. As Vargas gets it off of his feet and too tall for Akale.
And that was a good step just a moment ago by Rafa Shihus, someone who doesn't have the straight line speed at this stage of his career to hang in some of those defensive transition moments, but is so effective with his positioning and his timing defensively. A really good step from the veteran.
Throwing in towards midfield. Ball being headed around now for a moment. New Mexico. As Shakes comes well out past the 18 and just sends it deep as Shihus lets it bounce a few times, and Patrick Rakowski will come and get a touch to it. For Shihus, the grizzled veteran on this back line. Plenty of European experience, lots of experience in the MLS, as that ball gets headed down to Isan Sacco. Bounces away, but Colin Smith in the right spot. Smith, service in, too tall, as Sacco has to watch it run past. Good hustle, and not able to keep it in. It will be a goal kick.
I love that idea, though, from Colin Smith on that early cross. Not waiting for the play to develop and waiting for a chance for New Mexico United to get back into shape, but instead trying to pick out Isan Sacco with an early ball there. A really nice sequence, especially after Charlie Dennis had won that long ball coming out of the back from Phoenix. Sort of a target winger with his size, Charlie Dennis. A nice sequence there from Phoenix.
Chris Shakes sitting up for those goal kicks in, and everybody a little bit further forward, trying to get the ball at least out of their own third for a little bit. Shakes is a guy, he's sort of taken over this goalkeeper role for New Mexico. Was Alex Tambakis one of the leaders in the history of the USL Championship in saves made, and Shakes, he was a bright young prospect coming in out of Penn State, had a really good college career, and has found his way into the 11 and hasn't really relinquished the role.
No, Chris Shakes, someone that Dennis Sanchez has really valued, his presence in and around this club, his attitude coming into work every day. Said ultimately he wanted to reward Chris Shakes with actual regular starts and to give him a run of games. So far it's paid off.
Ball headed off of Colin Smith as Shakes will settle it down at his feet. Phoenix Children's is the exclusive and official pediatric medical partner of Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Children's provides expert care to children and their families, including primary and specialty care. Phoenix Children's bringing care closer to home. To learn more, visit phoenixchildrens.org. Akale chests it down, a lot of room in front of him, as Sacco comes back to help out defensively, and he has to get it off of his feet. Ian Zalalam. Vargas, little touch. Maples just gets it off of his feet. Dennis thought he had the interception right in front of him. Chris Gloucester. Gloucester still with his feet. Gives it off to Dayon Harris. Vargas. A little tic-tac. Zalalam back to him. This is how New Mexico United likes to play.
Yeah, they're very content to be in exactly this situation forcing you back into a lower block, pushing all of their numbers up past the midway mark. New Mexico love to thread these sorts of short passes and really search for the weak point in your shape.
Bailey stops. Akale comes to it with some room. Akale with the ball practically on a string. That one might have taken a deflection off the official, but it gets all the way to Harris. Harris cuts in on his right. Harris trying to get around. Little poke from Morsu got in, and there will be a foul as Dennis gets right back up and immediately has something to say about something.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie Dennis is too pleased with that foul from Gideon Zelalem there at all. Intent from Zelalem to bring down the man there, maybe more than the ball from Gideon Zelalem, but still a really heads-up play from Zelalem at the base of this midfield for New Mexico United. We talked earlier, Killian, about them needing to stay sharp in defensive transition. That can look like winning the ball, or it can just look like slowing down the man, even to the point where the referee's blowing his whistle. Smart play there for New Mexico to keep Phoenix away from their own goal and from running at it quickly in transition.
That's the one thing. Even though you look at the midfield, the three starting, yes, it's very much a lot more defensively. Don't really know exactly what you're going to see yet from Jean-Eric Morsu just yet with the youngster coming in, kind of see what he's going to bring, but definitely more defensive-minded. This attacking trio up top, they can still certainly score goals, and they've got the pace, especially from Remy Cabral and Isan Sako.
Yeah, Cabral, especially through the middle, I think, is going to be an outlet for this team when they try to play over the top of New Mexico.
There's a ball over the top to Harris. Harris right back to him. Ball tried to be sent in. Popmar Boy trying to clear it, but it went right to Charlie Dennis. Dennis trying to neat little pass to Cabral, but there were two defenders there, and it was never going to find its target. Alan Maples gives off for Will Seymour.
And you're seeing Phoenix rising in this shape. Man mark. New Mexico United through the middle, where you've got J.P. Skier stepping up to Zelalem. You've got Carl Saint over there dealing with Zico Bailey on the far side. And then Jean-Eric Morsu dealing with Marlon Vargas through the middle. They're not trying to give those three for New Mexico United any opportunities on the ball to really break through this shape.
Skiers showing the physicality.
Yeah, and that's intentional right there. Not necessarily the foul, of course, but getting close and really touch tight to Zelalem, who is so dangerous on the ball. Former Arsenal product at NYCFC, spent time in the Netherlands. He's been all over some of the higher levels of this game. Zelalem really able to beat you with the ball. Phoenix trying to force New Mexico to play through the wide areas if they're going to break down this rising group.
Charlie Dennis, a couple deflections from him flying over the pitch in the early portion of this match. Played just under a quarter of an hour tonight in Phoenix. An absolutely beautiful day and night, just 82 degrees. Is Akale going to turn, try to throw it into fifth gear, but it has it taken away and immediately played back to Rakowski.
That's another high-quality step there from Rafa Shihus, shutting down a quick-fire attack from New Mexico. Really, really sharp positioning there from Phoenix.
Morsu, little first touch, right back to him, tries to feed a ball through, but Gloucester steps in front, and it will be a foul and a free kick.
It's a nice build-up there from Morsu. Quick touch passing through the midfield, stepping forward as a third-man runner as well. See the 20-year-old there absorbing contact in behind. Phoenix Rising have earned themselves a set piece. That's another foul, though, to note on Gideon Zelalem.
Yeah, I have to wonder. That's the one on Dennis earlier. That one just kind of went through the back of the youngster Morsu as Popmar Boy gets it back up and running. Rafa Shihus feeds one through. Morsu back for Asel Asenge. Shihus chips one over the top for Isan Sako. Won't matter. Flag was up for an offside as they get it reset. I want to let you know you can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DN. It's the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Detroit City FC takes on Loudoun United on Saturday, October 11th at 4 p.m. Eastern on 2DN. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings.
And we talked about New Mexico not often playing these vertical balls as the least vertical passing team in the USL Championship. This is second or third time tonight we've seen Chris Shakes opt to go long. I think that's directly tied to Killian Phoenix Rising going man-to-man in central spaces, making it much more difficult for New Mexico to build.
Headed up and around. Cabral, an opportunity now. Cabral, it's a foot race. Maples trying to come back. Cabral hesitates. Cabral trying to get back to his left foot, gets closed down defensively, just has to cross it, and an opportunity goes by the wayside. Excellent defending there by Talon Maples.
Yeah, good hustling back for New Mexico United to shut down that moment from Cabral, but it's too long on the ball. There from Phoenix Rising's number 9. You can see both Isan Sacco and Carl Saint eagerly awaiting that cutback that never really comes from Remy Cabral. A missed opportunity there from Phoenix Rising.
That's what we were saying just a few minutes ago. Those quick little pace opportunities on the counterattack that Phoenix has been so good at all season. It's a reason that they've scored 45 goals, or one of them. As Carl Saint comes running in, and then a takedown from behind. As Charlie Dennis goes down, it'll be a free kick in a good spot for Phoenix.
You see a ton of applause coming from this Phoenix Rising bench and the coaching staff. It's Carl Saint who gets involved up there to win the ball. In a very similar position, Killian, to where JP Skierce got involved earlier on in this game. Phoenix Rising's number 8s pushing forward to really impact the game high up the field in defense. Charlie Dennis earning yet another opportunity from a dead ball to make an impact here.
And he will set up that left foot of his. Reigning USL Championship Player of the Week. Couple of goals last week, including a great free kick. I'd be certainly surprised if he went for goal from here.
You know, Killian, I thought Remy Cabral would take the last one that he scored, so what do I know?
This one crossed in. That one bounced around. Shakes has to sprawl out to his left and saves it. And now we've got a stoppage as there's a Rising player down.
Here's that dangerous set-piece service from Charlie Dennis. Connects. It looks like that's Chris Gloucester there and makes its way towards the goal of Chris Shakes. Doesn't connect cleanly with the Phoenix Rising player, but does enough, Charlie Dennis, there to cause some real problems for New Mexico.
And there's Skierce. A little slow to get up after the collision as he'll slowly start to make his way back.
Well, I'm curious how exactly New Mexico United are going to approach the rest of this first half when it comes to their build-up from deep areas. Are they going to continue to play the ball longer that gave Phoenix Rising that transition attack through Cabral just a moment ago? Are they going to try to play shorter but not through midfield because they don't have a lot of space to move in that part of the field? How are New Mexico United going to crack this nut? Are they going to work the ball wide? Really curious to see what this looks like.
Ball sent over to Gloucester. Back for Seymour.
Yeah, now you're seeing New Mexico United center backs take the space. Really good work there from New Mexico.
Ball, couple hops in for Harris. Harris cross towards the back post, looking for Akale, not there. Bailey off the crossbar on the volley and then put back towards goal. Unable to convert.
What a pair of opportunities there from New Mexico United. Zico Bailey gets the first bite of the apple off of that almost clearance from Acela Senge. Just tries to guide it in. And it's Greg Hirsch who takes the second bite, can't put it on frame, and Phoenix Rising breathe a sigh of relief.
Zico Bailey that far away from a goal of the week. That would have been sensational if he would have been able to sneak that one in.
Yeah, you don't often see players try to guide the ball in to that corner with the instep. Really nice effort there from Zico Bailey.
Stepped in by Popmar boy. Carl Saint tries to feed one through, but Cabral hadn't made the run. Cabral liked the thought, though. Seeing the early energy, this is from a Phoenix club. Pamo Duka, after last week's match, really kind of issued a challenge to his club. And it's been something all season long, the slow starts, and we've seen it over and over again, obviously, when you have to come back 3 straight times for multi-goal deficits. the start hasn't necessarily been the greatest. Tonight, it's been much better for Phoenix, but it seems like that challenge that he issued, the 11 on the pitch right now, have certainly answered.
Yeah, it does. The intensity has been there from Phoenix Rising. The question remains, how exactly will they nullify New Mexico United's build? Because we've seen a couple of moments now where New Mexico, even with the man marking in central midfield, they're finding solutions, whether that's a center back driving the ball into midfield to compromise that shape or a willingness to play around the Phoenix Rising press. They're going to have opportunities, New Mexico. They're too good on the ball not to. The question is, can Phoenix throw a few punches the other way and minimize the number of dangerous moments that New Mexico get to?
Popmar boy looking for Dennis. Dennis gets tangled up a little bit, says no foul. Akale going to wait for the ball in the midfield on his own. Akale weaving his way through. A step in by Shihus. Not fully out of danger. Hurst gets it off of his feet now for Zalalem. Back for Hurst as Zico Bailey took a tumble. Sacco looking for his French countryman and Remy Cabral. And Cabral, ball got tangled up at the feet of Maples, and New Mexico United starting to stretch their way back into the attacking third. Ball through for Vargas. Sliding challenge as Shihu steps in and clears it away. Excellently done there from Asela Senge over at that left back spot.
Yeah, you see just how quickly, though, New Mexico United can go and push numbers forward into the final third. A dangerous moment here. A well-weighted pass from Vargas to find Jalen Lindsay. Phoenix flirting with some danger there inside their own 18.
Senge played everywhere on the back line now this season. Saw him at right back at one point a few weeks ago. Obviously, he's started primarily one of the two center back spots, but now being thrust into a left back spot. Is that poor throw in and a poor touch right to Phoenix?
Yeah, and Phoenix certainly missed Danny Flores. It's really been bright for them since joining in the summer transfer window on loan from Chivas. He's been so effective, especially on the ball for Phoenix Rising, playing some of those early crosses, playing some of those out balls to release the front three. Between his absence tonight and Hope Aveyevu's spot on the bench as he's not 100% healthy, Phoenix miss a player who can really provide that lovely first ball into the front line. We've seen that a couple of times already this evening.
Carl Saint just gets enough of that ball to keep possession as he chests it down now. Tries to clip one forward and just cleared away Gloucester. Colin Smith told he needs to back it about 10 yards up the pitch. Dennis gets it right back, and then Smith looked like he was probably trying to play for a deflection, but there was nothing there. New Mexico side, both goals last week against Lexington, they came in the first 10 minutes. It was Vargas and then Maples on a penalty. Poor turnover, Morsu. Poor pass in response. Tries to step back in front, helps win the ball once again. Morsu, extra pass. Dennis down on the goal line, takes a deflection. It will bring up the first Carvana corner kick of the night, and it belongs to the hosts.
What a game this has been, Killian. Action coming at both ends. Phoenix Rising force a turnover with their man marking. A little bit of sloppy play there from Jean-Eric Morsu. Eventually gets back on the ball, and that's a little overhit to find Charlie Dennis, but Dennis just enough there to earn the corner kick. Phoenix having some success with this high press tonight.
This corner kick is brought to you by Carvana, proud sponsor of Phoenix Rising. Carvana will drive you happy. Sacco right down in front of Shakes. Got a lot of big bodies, though, in the box for Phoenix Rising. Dennis, left foot towards the near post and tried to feed one through. That was a Senge, it looked like, on the near post. And it took a deflection. They'll reset it for another corner.
Yeah, 2 set pieces from Charlie Dennis tonight, and 2 that have forced New Mexico United to hold their breath. Charlie Dennis, the dead ball specialist, at it again.
Cabral at the near post. See if they cook up this time. Going a little bit deeper. That one made it all the way through. As Morsu, not necessarily sure what he was going for with that one. Nonetheless, it's now a goal kick.
And interesting, we're seeing a little bit of discussion there from Talon Maples and Chris Gloucester, trying to figure out exactly how to work their way through this Phoenix Rising press. One thing we have seen a little bit more is we'll see more drives into the heart of midfield is those center backs stepping forward out of the back. They're not being man-marked. It's Remy Cabral, the striker for Phoenix Rising, tasked with dealing with both Maples and Seymour to give Phoenix that free man at the back. So New Mexico see that 2v1 advantage they have at the base of their shape. They're trying to exploit it.
Harris wants to cut inside to his right, and he pulls it off of his feet back to Zalalem. This one fed through. Hurst picks it up. Hurst, low little shot, trickled right into the hands of Rakowski. Harris was right behind him, and I think if that ball finds Harris, it was a really good shot on goal.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And just to underscore that idea about the center backs, though, from just a moment ago, who feeds that ball through, easy for me to say, it's Talon Maples striding all the way forward into the final third. Dennis Sanchez certainly has given his center backs license to go and influence the game.
We have Talon Maples. He's got 4 goals on the year. Been very sharp this season. Seymour with a goal and an assist in his 26 matches, and that one took a deflection as Maples tried to clear it, but went right off of Gloucester. As Colin Smith will slowly make the walk over to pick this one up.
He'll catch the replay. Killian, you called that exactly right. Maples just ends up putting that ball right through Chris Gloucester, or tries to anyway. Now New Mexico United will get it back.
And Gloucester, that's just self-defense at that point. That's looking at your guy going, hey, come on. We're in the same kit here.
Hey, the teal and the white close. No, I got nothing.
So Maples putting a hand up. He's going to wait as Shakes is going to come out. Rising fans, I want to introduce you to the ultimate match day deal from Phoenix Rising. It's the family 4-pack. You can get 4 tickets, 4 entrees, 4 chips, and 4 waters or sodas, all for just $100. Bring your family and experience an unforgettable night of soccer. Get your family 4-pack now at phxrisingfc.com. We are Phoenix Rising, Todos Rojos. We got 1 night left to do that, so definitely jump on it if you're looking to try and get out, especially now that I don't want to be that guy, but I think fall is finally here in Phoenix.
You already got the pumpkins out, I can tell.
Nah, I'm not going that far.
A little PSL in your life?
Nah, not going that far. I'm just saying it's not 115 degrees.
Good cover.
Vargas comes around, runs into Isan Sacco, wants to try and sprint out. He's got Morceau to his left, and he finds him. Cameroonian right back to Sacco, a bit too far for him. And a touch came as Maples plays it over to his backline mate in Seymour. So we've seen in the first 30 or so minutes of this first start for Jean-Eric Morceau running around, certainly causing a little bit of mayhem, but the final touch on some of these passes just hasn't been there yet.
Yeah, I can't say much better than that, Killian. You see Morceau wanting to be involved in the game on the ball, which is not something that we 100% knew was going to be a real desire of his. He looks like he wants to be a ball mover at the base of midfield. Finishing touch on this last pass hasn't quite been there. And it looks like in addition to that he's still trying to get on the same page as his other midfield and attacking teammates tonight with some of his movement, which again is to be understood, right? I mean, it's not a guy that's been around the Valley for very long now. It makes sense that there's going to be a little time to work all this out in this Phoenix Rising midfield.
Greg Hurst didn't like that as Potmar Boy came in, got ahead of him in the foot race, took some contact, and ultimately drew the foul. But Juan Morceau, mentioned, very young, just 20 years old, the Cameroonian, in on loan from Valenciennes in France. As New Mexico ping that one around. Now coming back the other way, Saint has to wait up. Saint making his way through, played back for Sacco. Sacco goes towards goal, and Shakes just got a hand to it and punched it away.
And there's Carl Saint yet again working his way high up the field to impact the game for Phoenix Rising, kickstarting this transition attack. The ball's not quite perfect there from Saint, forces Sacco to drop a little bit to get off that right-footed strike. Chris Shakes makes a slight kneel out of that shot from Sacco, and it's another dead ball for Charlie Dennis.
I think it was more a great reaction from Shakes. I think that might have taken a deflection in on him that's forced that quick reaction save. Another Carvana corner kick from Charlie Dennis. Dennis wants to go near post, and there was nobody there except for Will Seymour's head as he got to it first. This one sent in towards the back post, trying to find Skierce as he was the last to touch it. Will be a goal kick. I mentioned Shakes. This is 12th match this year, 14 goals allowed, but this is a guy who played at State College in Pennsylvania. An absolutely superb career. He played in 73 matches. They took a point in all but 11 of those 73. And oh, by the way, I'm not a great math guy, so I can't necessarily give you the number off the top of my head, but I do know this. 28% of the matches that he played in, he didn't let anything in. They were shutouts.
Chris Shakes has brought a lot of that form to New Mexico United this season. He has very much earned his spot in Dennis Sanchez's starting 11. We're seeing that again tonight.
Gloucester being told that he has to come off. Looks like he might have a cut just above his eye. Didn't really look like much there from that view, but nonetheless, they'll get him cleaned up and tell him to hold out at least for a moment. Of course, now everybody's confused. Head referee saying, let's play. Gloucester's trying to make the argument, saying, come on, I'm good, let me back out. Pamadou Kaz shouting about something on his side.
And I'm still in awe of our great camera crew. What a great close-up that was of Chris Gloucester.
Finally back in. Popmar Boy didn't really get squared on that one as Gloucester allowed back on the pitch after the phantom cut above the eye. See New Mexico might be looking to potentially set up for a long throw into the box here.
Yeah, you see Maples and Seymour, both center backs for New Mexico, hovering right around the edge of that 6-yard box, very much waiting for this long throw from Gloucester.
A lot of bodies in that box. Gloucester going to go with it. Sent in. Collision, and it will be a foul as Morsu now a little contact afterwards. As Morsu trying to come over as he ran into Akale, and now Akale still down, and now a little extra pushing and shoving. Akale still on the ground right in the thick of it as Physio going to be coming out.
Yeah, and here's the replay. Morsu certainly makes contact there with Akale. Fortunate that the referee had already blown his whistle for a foul on Charlie Dennis just seconds earlier. It looks like real contact there on Akale's outstretched leg.
Morsu, you kind of saw him hands up, didn't necessarily, wasn't malicious by any look, but Akale certainly getting checked out. Did look like he landed a little awkwardly after the contact too. So tending Aquila Akale. Here's one more look. Just kind of caught that back foot. You see the contact, caught that foot of Akale, who's now up, and he's going to start to try and walk it off.
And Dennis Sanchez will be very much hoping that Akale can walk this one off. Team's leader in goal contributions this year with a couple of goals and 6 assists in regular season play. Former U.S. Youth national team player, so tricky, and we've seen that already tonight in bits and spurts on that right wing. As an inverted winger, preferring that left foot, so clever. Akale is an essential part of this New Mexico squad.
So Akale going to come off at least for a few moments. Looks like he's good to go, though. And the entire New Mexico bench still shouting at the head referee. As the ball put back in, and Akale comes back on. Akale, Minneapolis native. 4 goals, 5 assists last year, and 11 with South Georgia Tormenta. Back in the 2023 season. As Asenge gets that little chipped ball from Murkowski. Approach. Less than 10 minutes left to go in this first half. Still 0-0. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. As the race to the playoffs continues on in the championship. A win tonight. 3 points as Cabral gets thrown off the ball. But 3 points for New Mexico will officially clinch their position in the playoffs. Currently sit in third. Whereas Phoenix Rising on this 7-match unbeaten run. 5 consecutive draws, 3 of which coming back from being down multiple goals. 3 points would be absolutely huge for this home side, as a loss, depending on what happens elsewhere around the league, could drop them out of the playoffs.
Every game feels huge at this stage of the season for Phoenix Rising. They've left themselves with some real work to do yet. But we've seen a lot of promising stuff, Killing, in the first almost 40 minutes of this game so far. New Mexico, of course, have had their looks, but Rising, a very short-handed Phoenix Rising team, have thrown a couple of punches as well and don't look like they've been easy to break down.
Kale tried to get a little fancy there, just didn't have enough on it as Asel Asenge came sprinting back to clean it up. That other match going on right now is El Paso Locomotive and Orange County SC. They're still 0-0. That is the big one for Phoenix fans. Orange County, if they take 3 points, that's where the danger starts to come in for Phoenix. Here's Asenge working his way up. Going to weave his way around through a couple defenders. Can't get fully away. Vargas, ball still pinging around a bunch of teal kits, and Shakes finally has it at his feet, and he sends it high into the night. Hurst tries a little black heel flick towards Harris, as Harris waits up for Gloucester. Harris has that taken away from Skeers, who has to slide in, but Gloucester comes in to help out his teammate. Zalalem switch sides. Here's Lindsay. Lindsay fed through for Zico Bailey. Bailey too strong of a first touch, and it's out the back for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a mostly unforced touch there from Bailey, but credit to Isan Saka, who does the dirty work to get back defensively there. So often this year, Killian, we've seen Phoenix Rising defend really without their wingers, where their wingers either aren't asked or simply aren't tracking back into shape. And it's left this team vulnerable, especially in the wide areas where the fullbacks have been quite undermanned. That's good work from Isan Sako, gutting himself to get back and defend.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big leagues, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. As Charlie Dennis is shown a yellow for some contact with Gloucester. So Dennis with the first booking of the evening for this foul.
Yeah, you see that high elbow, the right elbow there from Charlie Dennis connects straight with the face of Chris Gloucester. It's an easy call, and the arm goes up that high and extends out from the body. It's a tricky one for Charlie Dennis, and for Phoenix Rising as well. They've played long through Dennis over on that right wing more often than they've been playing long through Remy Cabral, their number 9, certainly more than they played through Isan Sako over on that left side. They like this Dennis and Gloucester matchup, playing vertically and using Dennis's size to get the better of Gloucester, but it hasn't quite panned out. Now it's going to be more difficult to execute with Dennis on a yellow.
And the last one, that might be the one where the physio needs to take a look at. It was the exact same spot that they were checking earlier. Caught that elbow at. Shakes. Lays it over for Maples. Bailey comes all the way back. Skier's trying to help out. Smith. Sliding challenge goes in. Late reaction from Hurst. Nothing there, though, as Hurst is still tumbling around on the pitch. New Mexico not happy about it. And now a stoppage as they're going to come and check on Hurst, who's down in a heap in the middle of the pitch.
That was an awful lot of contact on Greg Hurst, the former Phoenix Rising striker, as New Mexico United tried to build from the back there. Maybe not so much on that replay. Colin Smith certainly sliding in on Hurst there, trying to stop that attack from New Mexico. Didn't look like there was really serious contact there, and Hurst maybe walking it off now.
Yeah, it looked more, if anything, maybe Hurst might have clipped himself. Might have caught a little bit of something from Smith, but then kind of got his own feet tangled up. Nonetheless, he's back up and on his feet.
And notable, it's Hurst dropping deep in the build-up there on that sequence that leads to the stoppage for New Mexico United. Hurst, one of his greatest strengths is being able to drop and play make on the ball, either in the defensive third, even in the final third as well. As Dennis Sanchez thinks about what to change for this team at halftime, it would not shock me if we see more of Hurst dropping deep to get into the midfield area, really give them a +1 in that part of the field, or at least to draw a Phoenix Rising center back with him.
There's Hurst trying to flick one back. Morsu there is in the right spot, though. Morsu feeds one through for Smith. Smith tries to go on goal, but Talon Maples came over and made a great challenge to stop that shot.
Yeah, it's great defending there inside of New Mexico United's 18-yard box. How about this ball from Jean-Eric Morsu? A perfectly weighted through ball. But Maples sliding left over like a free safety to stop that sequence. Colin Smith can't make clean contact on the ball. Maples a really heads-up play there.
So it'll be another Carvana corner kick for Phoenix Rising. Dennis sends this one in. Shakes, leaps up, gets both fists to it. He pops right back up to his feet as Akale tries to put some pressure on it. This one high up into the air, and now a push, and the flag is up, so it won't matter. It's offside.
And here's another dangerous set piece from Charlie Dennis just a moment ago. Chris Shakes can't connect cleanly with that ball to claim it himself. Wisely opts to punch it away. Set pieces tonight for Phoenix Rising have been so difficult for New Mexico United to deal with.
So Shakes will wait and send some bodies forward, and want to let you know that soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Certainly keep your eye out there for once the playoffs get going in about a month. Seymour really got himself tangled up in a poor pass. Intercepted, went right to Morsu. Carl Saint going to turn. Saint still waiting, now takes a shot from behind, gets it away to Skier's. Skier's chips the ball over for Sacco. Flag is up, and it's offside once again for Phoenix.
Well, how good is that from Carl Saint? It's Morsu just a minute ago. It's Saint now playing in an unnatural position so high up in central midfield. Keeps that play alive. You see there just a little slip ball from Carl Saint into the usual number 6, J.P. Skiers, who's playing more as a number 10 tonight. Doesn't quite come off cleanly for Phoenix Rising, but still, if you're Pamadou Coquelin going into halftime, you've got to be thrilled with what this midfield trio, this makeshift group has brought tonight.
See what goes up on the board. Looks like we're going to have 4 minutes of added time. Seymour knocking around, and now looks like a foul. And it'll be a free kick for New Mexico. Seymour being told to back it up just a little bit as he had it right at midfield. Let's play a long ball. Popmar boy elevates and gets ahead to it. Dennis tangled up with Zalalem. Sacco pokes it away. Morsu Over for Carl Saint. Saint tries to get it away, and Maples just has to kind of falling away and take a stab at it. As heavy contact, Morsu now down. And it looks like it's going to be Zalalem, who he's already been involved in a couple challenges. Looks like he might be being booked. The trainer going to come out and take a look at Morsu, and Gideon Zalalem, he is shown the yellow. He's trying to plead his case. I don't really think it's going to work.
Yeah, we'll see it on the replay here. Zalalem hunting down that ball, certainly intending to go for the ball, but the 2 feet there that ended up going right through Jean-Eric Morsu. It's an easy yellow card there. New Mexico United's first booking of the evening.
Captain Talon Maples chatting with the head referee.
And there's Morsu, yep, back to his feet. He's been quite involved tonight. More touches with 31 than any Phoenix Rising player. Now, Phoenix have been playing against the ball for most of the evening, but I've been really impressed with how Morsu has sought the ball tonight. Eager to get on it, eager to make plays. We saw that through ball to Colin Smith just a few minutes ago. Morsu showing a lot of upside in possession so far tonight.
It's a good sign, especially for a guy coming in. Hasn't necessarily been around the team for a long time, so want to build that chemistry, and wanting to have the ball in a new situation is always a positive thing, especially from a 20-year-old.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. 20-year-old in a new country, in a new league, with everything new around you, been really impressed.
So Dennis going to play it off Sacco here on this right side. Sacco tries a little step over and just had too much there. Morsu tried to run in to keep it in touch, but wasn't able to. He saw the idea from Isan Sacco, but just unable to fully execute.
And Sacco's been quiet tonight. He had that shot off of the feed from Carl Saint early in the first half, but it's been a lot of play down this near side, the right-hand side for Phoenix Rising. Cabral's been quiet and largely ineffective, and the same goes for Sacco over on the left.
Shihus runs and gets to that ball as Rakowski will play it out for Asenge. Asenge, good little hesitation, gets himself around Bailey. Asenge, long run, and he gets upended, and it's out for a throw. As they're going to check on Asenge. It was good to see him asking to get helped up. Looked like he landed hard on that hand or wrist.
Yeah, that right arm goes down hard, gets twisted underneath Asenge, who's probably enjoying his chances to get forward tonight. The former midfielder turns center back, getting some opportunities to push into the attack.
Well, that's going to do it for the first 45. 0-0 between these two Western Conference rivals. Nothing to separate it here on Derby Day. Two teams going to make their way into the locker room. We're going to take it with them. Don't go anywhere. We got the halftime report coming up. Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United. Watching the USL Championship. The first 45 minutes. 0-0.
Looking for power, performance, and pure luxury? Look no further than Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Right now, drive off in a brand new GMC Sierra 1500, Hummer EV, or Sierra EV. Whether you're cruising in comfort or hauling with confidence, Buick and GMC have the style and strength to match your lifestyle. So come shop our new Buick and GMC inventory with outstanding factory offers and exceptional dealer incentives at Coulter Buick GMC Tempe. Experience the difference.
Hey, just a reminder that me and some friends are headed to the credit card bill tomorrow.
Again? I hate that you're always going to the credit card. Why can't you stay here and do things with us?
You don't generate the same interest. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Get your money working and keep more of it at home with 0% interest for 6 months on new Visa credit cards at America First.
Billy, I need help with the clicker.
Yeah, wait, 1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
Billy, you still there?
Okay, just,
You need Carvana. What's your plate number?
Boss MOV.
Vehicle features. No accidents, right?
No.
Good. Generating offer. Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer. But do you still need help with the clicker?
I'll ask your sister.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
When you choose Arizona Sports Medicine Center, you have access to one of the Valley's most advanced sports medicine and orthopedic care teams.
You're choosing a multidisciplinary team who are dedicated to providing the care you need.
That's why we offer advanced treatments, both surgical and non-surgical options, including robotic-assisted procedures.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, a sports injury, or need rehab after surgery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love to do.
Care is more than just treatment. It's a journey we take together.
I have some questions to ask you. As your keeper, what's your mindset normally in the goal?
Obviously save balls and trying to win the game. Also dictate a little bit the game, organize, and just trying everything to not concede a goal.
Yeah, that's good. Why do you think Germany is the best at producing some of the best goalkeepers?
I think we started really young. I remember I started playing soccer when I was 3. I decided to be a goalie at the age of 5. I think I'm now 32. So I'm like 27 years a goalkeeper now. That's a big part why Germany has in the past had really good goalkeepers.
Speaking of Germany, what's the most famous player or keeper that you've played against or with?
I conceded my first goal from Lewandowski.
Oh, I have a jersey of him.
Yeah.
What's your favorite memory with the Phoenix Rising?
Oof. I mean, obviously the championship was definitely a special moment. Then celebrating with the fans downtown was really cool. And then having some games here in front of the home fans, in front of the family and friends is really special for me.
Have you seen the game where you were called Peter Rakowski?
It's the goalkeeper, Peter Rakowski.
Yeah, maybe I should change my name to Peter. I feel like since they call me like that, I had a few good games. I guess it's Peter from now on.
The man, not the myth, the legend. Thank you for your time.
Back in, see Abrazo Health halftime report. Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United 0-0 for the first 45 here in the Valley of the Sun. It's been a good one in this derby. Don't go anywhere. We're going to continue on the other side. The Abrazo Health halftime.
The service, dipping down, and the breakthrough is found. Rodriguez, it goes in. It's a gigantic lift for Las Vegas.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a loan off take a loan for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Get double points this fall at Best Western.
Back in halftime. Nice little dance performance going on here at halftime. The Abrazo Health halftime. 0-0 between Phoenix Rising and New Mexico United. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry here bringing to this one. Fun first half between these two, and we'll talk a little bit more about that after we get some of the news and notes from around the championship this week. New appearance leader, Louisville City's Sean Toch, recorded his 296th league appearance to set a new benchmark. We're trying to catch him, Joe. We're getting there.
It's going to take time, but I believe in us.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We've got time on our side.
250 league appearances for Augustine Williams, also backed the winning goal there. And then mentioned another one of those homegrown talents here for Phoenix, J.P. Skierce, signing that multi-year contract extension at the end of last week. So him and Colin Smith both getting locked down for at least the next couple years through this Phoenix Rising club. And that's some of your news and notes from around the championship, as we'll show you some of the scores as well from around the championship. A big night as the race to the playoffs is continuing. Birmingham Legion stave off elimination with a 1-0 victory. Colorado Springs, that big 1-0 victory that forces New Mexico tonight to need the 3 points if they want to clinch. FC Tulsa doing their best to try and inch closer to locking up the number 1 seed. And then the big one that everybody here in Phoenix is keeping their eyes on, that's that Orange County and El Paso match. Still 0-0 between those two.
I got my eyes on the Jägermeister Cup final. I thought that's where you were taking me, Killian, not just Phoenix, but the eyes of the USL on that Jaeger Cup final in Sacramento. Still 0-0 in that first half as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right. Forgot that. Should have been a standalone.
Very much so.
Should have been. Well, Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Showing some love to everybody here in the stadium. We're going to continue that. Abrazo Health halftime when we come back.
The monsoon can drastically change our weather in just minutes.
With First Alert Weather, any changes, you'll know first, you'll know before.
Get the First Alert before you plan your day.
Get the First Alert before your commute home.
Get the First Alert to keep your family safe.
No matter what's on the horizon, when we know, you'll know. It's why we First Alert.
Only on Arizona's Family.
Billy, I need help with the clicker.
Yeah, wait, 1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
Billy, you still there?
Okay,
You need Carvana. What's your plate number?
Boss, M-O-V.
Vehicle features, no accidents, right?
No.
Good. Generating offer. Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer. But do you still need help with the clicker?
I'll ask your sister.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
There's satisfaction in sacrifice, in spilling blood, sweat, and tears, in knowing that you left it all on the floor and never threw in the towel. Well, except to clean up the mess. Giving it all for your team is worth every drop. Modelo, brewed for fans with a fighting spirit.
And now, everybody who's fueled by your local Circle K. There's flower shop owners, neighborhood bakers, awesome food truck sandwich makers, gearheads, mighty motorheads, farmers and their farmsteads, life-saving physicians and head-banging musicians, that guy who helped you change your spare, and rock star nurses. Hey. The people we rely on every day are fueled by Circle K every single day. Fueled by Circle K.
Tonight's broadcast of Phoenix Rising FC is presented by Carvana, ASMC, and America First. Back in 0-0. Phoenix Rising, New Mexico United. A beautiful night for some soccer. The fans taking it in here. The Abrazo Health halftime. We're starting to wrap up. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. You were expecting me to probably talk about Arizona State after that shot, weren't you?
I was.
They're on a bye week this week, so don't worry. First half highlights for you. Presented by Gila Rivers Resorts and Casinos. 0-0, so no goals to show, but certainly some opportunities early on. New Mexico, Dayon Harris trying to curl one in. There's been some chances, but just neither team able to really fully find a good one yet.
Yeah, it's been an evenly matched game so far. Both teams having their looks, both teams giving up some chances at the other end, of course. New Mexico United had a couple of really nice looks. Here's this attempted finish there from Zico Bailey, who tried to just guide it up into that top corner. Almost had it there from Zico Bailey. A really nice look.
Yeah, this would have been, easily goal of the week if Zico Bailey been able to find that one off the crossbar. Then the second chance. That's really been the best opportunity, I think, from either side. Here's this one. Isan Sako gets it. Took a little bit of a deflection. A good save by Chris Shakes. That's really all there's been in the match tonight from either side.
Yeah, a couple of dead ball opportunities from Phoenix Rising. Charlie Dennis, this team's primary set-piece taker in the starting 11 from the jump. He's been impactful in some of those dead ball moments.
Here are the first half stats for you. Is obviously 0-0, one shot on target for both, as a very shocking revelation if you were with us at the beginning of the night. 57-43 in possession for New Mexico United. We talked about it at the start. Only been out-possessed one time this season. That was by Louisville City.
Yeah, on the road, no less. This Dennis Sanchez team knows exactly how they want to play. They want to use the ball to play a lot of short passes to build through you, probe for that weakness in your shape, and go and explode towards goal. They've had a couple of opportunities in New Mexico United to do that, but credit to Phoenix Rising. They've thrown a man-marking approach through central midfield at this New Mexico group. And New Mexico, yes, they have found their way through a couple of times, but they have not been comprehensively excellent in possession. A couple of sloppy passes here, a couple of slow off-ball movements there. If I'm Dennis Sanchez at halftime, I'm not necessarily looking to change anything major here. I just want to see my team be a little sharper on the ball to break through that rising press.
Over on the other side for Phoenix, got to be happy with how the three in the midfield have played. Jean-Eric Morsu getting his first start, Carl Saint and J.P. Skierce. What have you made from their first half performance?
Yeah, it's been fun to see those midfielders playing together for Phoenix Rising, sort of a makeshift lineup from Pamuduka due to the injuries that have plagued this team all year long and a recent bout of the flu that's come through this locker room in the last 5-7 days. For this Phoenix Rising group to get Skierce and Morsu and Saint in midfield together almost never would have been on the whiteboard coming into the season. Certainly wouldn't have been because Morsu wasn't even here yet, but even after the summer window, you wouldn't expect to see these three playing together. But with Emmers out and Hope Avayevu on the bench tonight trying to recover from that sickness, I think those three have acquitted themselves quite well in the midfield for Phoenix, being combative, high up the field, alert off the ball defensively, tracking their markers. And we've seen bits of quality on the ball, especially from Saint and from Morsu high up the field.
We have to wonder for Phoenix, as we're going to give you and revisit Lowry's Lowdown presented by Pure and Nissan right here, but you have to wonder, how well is Hope Avayevu and Darius Johnson feeling? Could we potentially see them for 20, 30 minutes in the second half?
It's a huge question, Killian. It really is, especially because Phoenix have lacked that last punch in attack. We saw the highlights coming out of this break. There hasn't been a ton of obvious joy for Phoenix Rising. Where they struggled, in my mind, is with Remy Cabral as an outlet in possession. He's not been able to hold off, especially Will Seymour. It's been Seymour winning a lot of those 1v1 duels on the long balls coming into Cabral. So Cabral hasn't been effective. Can you see potentially someone like Darius Johnson coming off the bench and either playing as that 9 or more likely shifting Isan Sako in centrally? And then you have a different look in that front line. Or could you see Avayevu come on to maybe play the ball in behind to Cabral rather than up to his chest? Really curious to see what Pamuduka is able to do when it comes to his subs tonight.
The other thing you got to remember, Charlie Dennis, reigning player of the week, on a yellow card in that first half. So certainly something to keep an eye on there. Lot of potential here in the next 45-plus minutes. A lot to play for as the race to the playoffs. It was another 45 minutes closer and back underway. New Mexico United will start it off, and Chris Shakes going to play one in deep. Pop Marboy will get his head to it. Zico Bailey ball knocked around, and it'll go up. Rakowski will come out and call for it and pick it up. Got a couple really sharp guys on that New Mexico United bench as well. One of which, Valentin Noel and Usman Jabang, a couple really talented midfielders that could certainly come in and be game changers for Dennis Sanchez's side.
Yeah, Noel hasn't maybe quite been 100% in recent weeks, but he's now reunited with Dennis Sanchez for the third time. They were together at Austin FC 2 and MLS Next Pro a couple years back, and then Sanchez and Noel both end up moving to Las Vegas, where they had a lot of success last season. And then Sanchez comes over and takes over New Mexico United over the offseason. And Noel eventually follows in midseason an acquisition from New Mexico United. A lot of love between those two guys.
Long throw, and it goes all the way past everybody. It'll be Pop Marboy. Just play it back to Rakowski. For Pamoduka, you're not down after the first 45, as they have been in the previous couple matches, so certainly can't complain about that. It's just going to be whether or not you're able to throw and land the first punch here tonight.
Yeah, I think if you're Pamoduka, you're thrilled with how that first 45 minutes went. Yes, you're missing that little bit of polish in the final third. I don't think that's a surprise. It certainly wouldn't surprise Pamoduka given his personnel tonight. But that you hung in this game defensively, that you didn't end up in that multi-goal hole or any hole at all that you'd experienced over the last 3 weeks running. A strong start to Phoenix's night tonight. I don't think they need a lot of changes in this second half. They're just trying to be opportunistic when they can create those transition moments.
Sacco does a nice job to earn himself a foul. He tried to chest it down and give himself some space. Just ran right into Jalen Lindsay. So Dennis will come over to set up for this free kick.
Yeah, I mentioned transition moments needing to be opportunistic there. Dead ball is another great opportunity for Phoenix tonight. They've had more of them. They've been consistently dangerous coming in on that left foot from Charlie Dennis.
Dennis sends this one in towards the box. That one headed away by Maples. He was the first there to get. Now Smith. Try a little step over. Strong challenge. Ball one for New Mexico. Opportunity to potentially break away, but a good step in. And it'll slow things down.
Yeah, it's Acela Senge there trying to create an opportunity to slalom through a couple of New Mexico United players. Unfamiliar territory there for Senge high up the field.
Shakes. He's pestered. There's a lot of white kits up there. Dennis ultimately wins it, tries to send it back in towards the box. Sacco is the only one there, though, but Shakes quickly to cover. Akale gets it past midfield. I'll lay it off for Hurst. Hurst plays it right to the feet of Colin Smith, who chips it back to Jalen Lindsay at midfield.
Well, that's what New Mexico United need to cut out in this second half, is those sloppy turnovers after they've broken the first line for Phoenix. Had an opportunity there, New Mexico, to go and run at this Phoenix back line, but it's a wasted opportunity between those lines.
Here's Akale. Akale cuts it to his left. Akale wants to go for goal, but got well underneath that one and sent it midway up into the stands. Phoenix Rising and Modelo have teamed up to offer the ultimate game night experience. For just $20, get one ticket and one 24-ounce Modelo to elevate your game day. Don't miss out on the special offer. You can get your tickets today and cheer on Phoenix Rising. You can get them now at phxrisingfc.com. We are Phoenix Rising, Todos Rojos. Zico Bailey finds Akale again. Akale, a low pass on the ground. Hurst comes over to collect and is going to wait up for some help. He's got Lindsay off to his right. Lindsay wants to cross it in. A leaping job there from Skierce. He got his head to it. Senge will just get it out of their own half.
And those are moments where Phoenix Rising need to be sharper. Can't find Remy Cabral there, Acela Senge, and when Phoenix have been able to find Cabral, he hasn't been able to win the battle between himself and Will Seymour especially. Phoenix need to be better there.
Lots of space. Lindsay trying to weave his way through. Has it taken off of his feet. Carl Saint looking for Cabral, who takes a touch. Tried to get one off to Sacco, but a good sliding challenge by Zelalem. Zico Bailey had that volley attempt go off the crossbar in the first half. So leaving the best chance from either team tonight. Akale coordinating traffic. Bailey, low cross. And he deflected right back out to him. Sacco, but too much contact. That'll be a foul.
Yeah, New Mexico United happy to set up shop in the attacking half here, breaking into Phoenix's third as well. The concern starts to be, if you're Phoenix Rising, how can you break out of this state of play? How can you go and find your outlet to alleviate pressure. It's difficult to be pinned back in your own half for this long.
This is exactly what New Mexico United wants to do. They love holding possession, ping short passes around, they poke, they prod until they find that weak spot. Akale tried to flick one forward. There was nobody there, though, as Lindsay was staying back in defense. Asenge, a little too over-anxious. Gets the ball off his feet. That one driven and just got a fingertip to it was Rakowski. As Asenge, a bit of a misplay, creates a chance.
Yeah, it's a strong save from Patrick Rakowski. Akale comes in and picks that ball off of Estelle Asenge and Dayon Harris. Well-placed shot over to that far post, keeps it low. A difficult one for Patrick Rakowski to deal with. He gets down there anyway. And New Mexico United have themselves a corner kick.
Great sliding challenge from Akale. We mentioned he is something about him playing against this Phoenix Rising team. He's been known to step up in the most dramatic of moments as the first Carvana corner kick of the night for the second half and the first for the visitors. This one going near post, took a deflection. They're just going to reset it.
And you mentioned Akale there, Killian. He's been the main man so far for New Mexico in this second half. Peeling further off of the Phoenix Rising backline to tuck into midfield. Distancing himself from Estelle Asenge in possession so that he can pick up the ball and drive it forward, and clearly involved defensively as well.
Looks like Valentin Noel getting ready to come on as this one's sent in and just cleared away by Potmar Boy. So first sub readying Valentin Noel, the Frenchman, getting himself situated right at midfield. Seymour long walk and just lays it back over to Maples. Maples looking for Lindsay, but not strong enough as Asenge has it. It's deflected forward. Dennis comes over to step in front. Bailey for Hurst. Hurst picks it up and turns a lot of room in front of him. Hurst trying to get one in behind. This one crossed in just past Lindsay and deflected off of Sacco, but right into the arms of Rakowski. A little bit of a hold your breath moment for that south end.
Yeah, great bit of build-up down that left side from New Mexico. And it's Harris who fires that ball across, trickles all the way through to the back post. There eventually ends up with Patrick Rakowski. New Mexico finding some dangerous opportunities here in the first 10 minutes of this second half.
Rafa Shius and Potmar Boy just going back and forth, giving everybody a moment to breathe. Potmar Boy trying to go long over the top. Maples leaps up and gets ahead to it. Slalom has chased all the way back. And that one played out will be a throw to Phoenix. And it looks like we will have that substitution now. As Marlon Vargas is going to be making way for the Frenchman Noel.
Yeah, and that'll be a like-for-like change with Valentin Noel very comfortable as that attacking midfielder. Have to imagine that he's going to slot in underneath Greg Hurst in that number 10 spot where Vargas was just a moment ago, playing between Miquele Akale and Dayon Harris.
Noel, as part of that transfer with Las Vegas, was a big move. Mackenzie Gaines and Anthony Herbert went over. Noel comes here to New Mexico as well as an international slot. His ball being knocked around on that far side of the pitch. Zico Bailey just gets a foot to it and clears it all the way out. Rakowski, long run out of his goal. Well, will get his first touch. Heads it down to Zalalem. Harris cutting around through 5 different defenders and earns himself a foul. Well, 3 goals and an assist. All 3 goals this season coming with New Mexico United. At 11-7 last year in all competitions for that Las Vegas light side.
And the Las Vegas season was really influential for this New Mexico one, not just with Noel, but also with New Mexico United manager Dennis Sanchez, of course, leading that group from the sidelines. Spoke earlier this week with Sanchez, and he talked about how important that year was in Las Vegas as a validation of how he wants to play, how he wants to go about things. His first season, Dennis Sanchez, as a first-team manager in Las Vegas last year was an opportunity for him to test what he wanted to do. Has had a chance, Dennis Sanchez, to work with some of the greats of the coaching ranks in the United States, came up in Seattle Sounders and that setup in Major League Soccer. Worked closely with Brian Schmetzer, future National Hall of Famer. Brian Schmetzer ended up in Columbus working with Greg Berhalter for a time. He's worked with some of the best that this country has to offer in the coaching ranks. Dennis Sanchez now getting to prove it on his own.
There's a poor pass from Shihus as Hurst going to cross it towards the back post, but too long. Harris, if he can keep it in, and he does. Harris feeds one through. This one centered, looking for a Kale, but cleared away. Back in, Bailey dummies it. Hurst wants to go for goal with the left foot. Took a deflection as Rakowski comes out and is able to scoop it up. A little more danger in this second half from the visitors. See if any potential changes come in the near future for Phoenix Rising. Morsu clips the ball over to Skiers. Shihus tries to send one forward, but Shakes comes out and picks it up.
And it's been that sort of second half for Phoenix Rising. It's not connected when they do have these brief spells of possession. We've seen it down the right side, now down this left side as well. Phoenix really struggling to string a number of passes together to really work their way into the final third.
Dennis sprints over to get into the face of Gloucester.
And the result of some of those short possession sequences for the home side is that you give New Mexico United more of exactly what they want, where they have now added chances to pick you apart.
This one in behind. Bailey is continuing to fight. Zico Bailey still with the ball at his feet. Now sent back into the corner, and it's out for a throw. Nicely done defensively.
And there's Morsu yet again, doing work on both sides of the ball tonight. They're tracking back all the way deep into that corner. He's been everywhere.
Maples played all the way back for Shakes. Fans, if you're hungry, you should head on into Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Cane's hand-battered chicken fingers and delicious secret sauce is the perfect way to feed a post-game appetite. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. This one long run in behind, some space for Akale. Akale one-on-one with Shihus. Akale tries to cut in, but good step by Rafa Shihus. As a poor header down from Cabral. He was looking for Morsu, but couldn't get there. Hurst will take a couple of steps.
And right after that failed control from Remy Cabral, Pamadukat turns to his bench. Motions that he's ready to get us up on the field, and it's going to be Darius Johnson coming into this front line, and I'd have to imagine that it's for Remy Cabral.
Talk with Johnson. Johnson, who's that last look? Who's stepping in. A lot of minutes on those legs from Rafa Shihus, and certainly proving it tonight against the really talented Akale. He's done that a couple times this evening.
Yeah, a lot of minutes on those legs, a lot of minutes between the ears there. Rafa Shihus so savvy, knowing when to step. Has read the game so well tonight, the 35-year-old.
Bailey, a few touches right at midfield. Wants to chip one in towards Harris, long run, but Rakowski off his line, and he'll play it back quickly. Colin Smith sprinting out. Now for Dennis. Darius Johnson is the man starting to loosen right at midfield. Expect to see that change come any moment. The next stoppage. Rakowski just boots it deep. He'll ping it all the way to his opposite. In the all-red goalie kit, Chris Shakes.
And Phoenix haven't been able to press as high or as hard in this second half. A natural decline in energy as this game has worn on. The difficulty there for Phoenix is that that's where they created a lot of their danger moments in the first 45, was going and pressing high and winning the ball. Now they've got more distance to cover between them and goal and after they win it.
Here's Sacco with the chance. Sacco for Saint. Saint wants to go at goal, but right at Shakes. An easy save for the Nittany Lion. Morsu comes running in to pester Hurst. A little bit of a stumble from Asenge. Hurst. Shehu's got a little fancy that time.
He's enjoying life on the left side of this back two.
And Shehu's now shouting at JP Skeers, telling him to get forward.
And Darius Johnson's been waiting to enter this game for so long that he's gone over to grab some water, take a few sips before this actually happens.
Ball chipped over the top. Sacco, if the flag stays down. Sacco and Shakes got a hand to it. What a save. Sacco can't believe it. And they keep going.
That's a monumental save there from Chris Shakes in goal for New Mexico United. Sacco makes good contact with that left foot, but Shakes does well to read that all the way through and make the stop.
Now a foul, and it'll be a free kick. And setting up, and Valentin Noel just got a very harsh look from the head referee. I don't know if he accidentally made contact with him. So the substitution is going to come on. It will be Remy Cabral coming off for Darius Johnson.
Yeah, Cabral, a frustrating night, and you can see it now. Just throws that tape to the turf. Phoenix Rising's number 9, rarely involved this evening, just not able to get into the game with his hold-up play. Not efficient with his transition moments either with the ball at his feet. Frustrated Remy Cabral now exiting play.
So Johnson will come on. A little under 30 to play. There's one more look at that foul. Sacco getting upended. So a free kick opportunity for Dennis once again. This has really been kind of where Phoenix has been the most dangerous tonight. They've had some looks. See if they can create anything off of this one. Now a stoppage as a conversation to be had amongst the scrum right around the penalty spot. Sasela Senge and Gideon Zalalem. And short, Morsu tries little curler in towards goal as Popmar Boy comes sprinting back. Ended up fouling Lindsay. Much disagreement amongst this home crowd and even from the captain for this Rising side.
Yeah, the Desert Dwellers none too pleased with that decision. Popmar Boy working his tail off to get back there in transition defense. Certainly makes contact with Lindsay, but didn't seem like an exorbitant amount of contact there with the fullback. New Mexico United now, though, in possession.
Ball chipped over the top for Akale as Akale extends the arm and shoves Asenge to the ground, and there's a foul the opposite way.
That, though, killing that moment from Popmar Boy just a second ago. As you see the replay here of the foul on the other end, that Popmar Boy moment is the clip that you might show to describe how he interprets the center back position. So quick to get back and try to bail his team out of difficult situations, and doesn't ultimately get that call going his way. but does enough to stop the play to allow his side to get back behind the ball. Such an athlete, such a savvy defender in that center back spot.
Well, such a physical presence. That's just kind of the way that Pop Marboy plays the game. If it's you, the ball, and him, most of the time, you and he are going to collide at some point.
Yeah, certainly both of those things, the ball and me not making it past Pop Marboy. I mean, I wouldn't make it past Pop Marboy regardless of whether the ball's at my feet or not.
That makes two of us. That's a guarantee. I don't think the two of us combined could get
not even with you on my shoulders, huh? You could go over.
I was thinking more like if we were trying, to each side to try to get past him. But
think bigger. Think bigger.
I like the way you think. Selasenge thought he had won a ball and created an opportunity, but not to be. That sub, by the way, with Johnson coming on, he and Sacco just switched. Sacco now playing up top in that striker role.
You see some contact from Asenge. That right foot coming in there on Mikwele Akale. I don't mind that call. Certainly things being called a little bit tighter in this second half. We'll keep an eye on that in the last 20, 25 minutes here.
Hurst got a piece of that, but took a bit of a odd deflection off of his feet, and it will be a throw to Phoenix. Colin Smith will walk that one back up. And if you can't watch the match, be sure to turn on Sirius XM FC 157. It's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, which includes USL All Access Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. JP Skier's trying to get involved in a long run as Carl Saint comes in, a bit of an errant challenge, and that's going to be right to the pocket. And Carl Saint, a little pushing and shoving as Zico Bailey took offense to it.
Yeah, and another easy call there from the referee, an obvious yellow. Carl Saint a full beat late on that challenge. No need for the afters. Very clear decision there from the referee, the correct one there with Carl Saint ended up in his book.
Third booking of the night, second for Phoenix Rising. Charlie Dennis, the other man, on a yellow. One more look at it, and it was a whole second, and Bailey did not like it. Immediately got up and went right after Saint. Coming up on 20 minutes to play tonight, still 0-0. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. A lot to be played for. A little score update for you. Still 0-0 between El Paso and Orange County in the other match going on right now. Pop Marboy chested down, and he'll wait and let it run all the way back to his keeper.
And that Orange County El Paso result matters. If Orange County end up picking up all 3 points there and Phoenix Rising don't take anything out of this game, Phoenix will drop all the way down to 9th, below that cut line in the West.
Skiers heads over to Morsu. Ball taken away by New Mexico United, though. Zalalem stops and turns.
We don't know how this game is going to play out, how these last 20 minutes or so are going to look. One thing that you can absolutely take out of this match as a positive if you're Phoenix is the level of commitment, especially in central midfield, has been excellent tonight. Sure, there have been fouls like this one that we're seeing play out right now, but the effort that's being put in by that midfield trio all over the field to close hard to their man in those man-to-man situations, to go upfield and force turnovers, and then to burst in the attack, to react quickly in transition. A much, much better showing from the midfield group from Rising than we've seen in the last month or so from this group.
Carl Saint getting a very fortunate talking to, and I think that's going to spring a change from Pamo to Cause. Hope Avievu is up and getting ready to check in. And you have to imagine it's going to be for number 6.
Yeah, it will be Carl Saint who exits this game. He's been playing the furthest upfield of any of this midfield trio. That's center back / number 6, Carl Saint. He's been playing as a number 10 for big chunks tonight, and now it will be Phoenix Rising's go-to number 10. Who wears that number? Hope Avievu coming on for him.
Unable to get that change in, so back into touch Phoenix thought they were going to get that substitution. Zico Bailey. New Mexico. There's a ball, and it is a handball. Ball came up. Must have caught Akale, and now Hope Avievu will come in, get about a little over 20 minutes. Feeling a little under the weather coming into tonight. He's going to see what he's got for Pamuduka.
Yeah, it's Avievu and Darius Johnson, both who have been dealing with sickness this week. They've been the two substitutions for Pamuduka tonight. The bench is not a long one for this group. They need a little something out of these substitutes to get them over the line.
Hope Avievu been one of the best players in the league this season. Coming in 6 goals, 9 assists. Those 9 assists, one of the top marks in the championship. See if he can be the difference maker tonight for Phoenix Rising as they look to continue the 7-match unbeaten run. They've drawn 5 straight. A draw tonight would match the league record for most consecutive draws. Not necessarily a record that you want, not necessarily a record that you'd be too upset about having, because it means it's at least 6 consecutive points.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you'd have to imagine that Phoenix already hold the record for most goals on a streak of this nature. Some high-scoring draws, not so much tonight, but the 3-3 last weekend against Oakland, the 2-2 with Loudon and Sack before that, a 3-3 with El Paso to start this draw streak as well.
It's one of those ones where when you've done all these games this year, you see a lot of it. You kind of look back and you go, oh, wait, that's right. That was 3-3. Oh, wait, yeah, that was 2-2. Oh, that was 4-4.
Big numbers.
A lot of excitement from Phoenix Rising this season. Also looking to try and sweep all 3 matches. This one, good ball played through. Long foot race in behind. Hurst has to slide down and get it. Popmar boy Johnny on the spot to clear it away. There's a player down for New Mexico United, back behind the play.
And you can see that shove there just a moment ago. Chaos inside the 18 for Phoenix Rising. Popmar boy eventually coming over, being the adult, getting rid of that ball. That's Dayon Harris down inside the box. He was the one who made that initial run and received the contact from Marboy initially.
Marceau and JP Skierce going to come over to the bench, get a quick drink of water, and get a little bit of tactical update. Darius Johnson right down there as well as they tend to Dayon Harris. And while they do that, remind you that eFootball is here. If you're a dream and rep your team, you can also play as your favorite USL Championship club. Mind that eFootball is free to play, so go ahead and download it now.
Yeah, both coaches trying to use this stoppage to drill some final tactical instructions into their teams. Just not a lot separating these groups tonight. The second half's looked a little different, a little more controlled for New Mexico than the first. But they haven't created a myriad of chances at all. And Phoenix have really struggled to find their looks in the attack in this second half. A very evenly balanced matchup tonight through 75 minutes.
So it looks like a change. Looks like Luther Archimedes getting ready to come on as Dayon Harris is up on his feet. Might be change coming for him. So Harris starts to make his way off the pitch with the trainer. And yeah, there will be a substitution. As Luther Archimedes comes on.
Yeah, it's Archimedes going up top to be that big-bodied number 9. Well, Greg Hurst, the former number 9, shifts left into Harris's position. A little bit of a reshuffling of the deck here from Dennis Sanchez.
Johnson, come over. I'll clip one over to Hope Avievu. One of the first touches for Avievu. Dennis played back. Pop Marboy. 15 minutes left to go in the 90. Still 0-0. Naples leaps up and gets a piece of it. Gotten over to Zalalem. Turn played all the way back for Shakes. Seymour, couple touches, and now Shihus and Arshmed were tied up, and it's going to be Arshmed with the foul, and he can't really believe it.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of pushing and pulling between both of those guys. Luther Arshmed and Rafa Shihus. Phoenix Rising trying to get this ball back in play quickly. It's Shihus who ends up winning that battle. According to the referee, yeah, you can see Arshmed there just throw his weight back. It looks like into Rafa Shihus. Certainly contact there to go, coming from both guys.
Shihus as Dennis will chest it down, and Skiersch just flips it up into the night. Arshmed from Guadalupe as represents them internationally. Good find. Opavievu gets in behind. Avievu, good little touch to get around Bailey. He has to hesitate. Tried to play it back through. Wasn't get a cut from Darius Johnson. Was hoping to have a run for him there into the box, but didn't get it.
I hear that hope pun. Hoping to get the ball over to Darius Johnson. Just not quite on the same page, though, the two substitutes there. That's what Phoenix has been missing, though, those quick little moments of brilliance from Avievu, creating enough separation initially to cut that ball back to where he wanted Darius Johnson to be, and now Phoenix have reestablished themselves in the attacking half.
Look at challenge one by Marsu. This one crossed in. Avievu just a little bit behind him. Ball got tangled up at his feet and unable to put it on goal.
And another decent look here from Phoenix Rising. Colin Smith's service into the box has been quality tonight at times. Avievu finding a way to impact the game after being on the field for just a few minutes now.
That one headed straight down. Akale tries to get over there, but Marsu is first to get it. Avievu trying to find Sacco. Couldn't get it all the way through as Will Seymour stepped in front of it. But Avievu finds the ball back at his feet again. Dennis wants a right-footed shot, knocked down as Skiersch is up in attack, and he thought that Sacco was right next to him. He wasn't. An opportunity now going back the other direction for New Mexico. Arshmed cutting in over to Hurst. Little 1-2. Good step in by Shihus. Yet another one. Here's Dennis. Dennis going to cut in. Avievu wanted the ball, and he gets it. He's got Johnson to his left. Johnson hesitates, trying to figure out where he wants to go with it. He's got Lindsay right up in his face. Lindsay right on his hip the entire time there. Good defense. $80 played tonight. Is there a difference in these final 10? Phoenix took the first match in New Mexico at the early portion of the season. Ended up coming away with a draw in the Jägermeister Cup and won it in penalties. Arshmed tries to head it around, trying to beat out Shihus, but Shihus does a good job to shoulder him off and retain possession.
Yeah, he's been so good tonight. Rafael Shihus in the middle of that back line has hardly put a foot wrong all evening. Well positioned, showing off good strength, patience on the ball as well. It's exactly what this Phoenix Rising front office was hoping to get from Rafael Shihus when they brought him in the summer.
Seymour had Zalalem practically right on top of him. Gloucester comes and steps over Zico Bailey in the midfield. Bailey trying to get around. Ball being deflected around Archimed. Now over for Akale. Flag stays down. Akale to his right foot. Akale goes for a goal, but got underneath it.
Yeah, Phoenix breathing a sigh of relief there. Bit of sloppiness at the back. Allows Akale to get on the ball facing forward. That weak foot, though, can't get his body over the ball enough to keep it below that bar and get it on frame.
Rising fans, don't wait. 2026 season ticket membership deposits are live, and for just $100 per seat, adds to the 2026 season priority list. And for every deposit placed, you get one complimentary ticket to a regular season game this season. Call 623-594-9606 or email sales@phxrisingfc.com to learn more. Johnson and Seymour won that header, but unable to get it to a member in teal. Avievu, a step too far out in front of him. As Dennis, we've seen him starting to kind of just roam around the pitch and attack now as Johnson, stepping one, gets another look. And that one went up, looking for the handball. It was a clear one, but not called. Bailey springing out the other direction now. Bailey chips it over to Archimed.
Yeah, it certainly looked like an outstretched arm there. New Mexico United fortunate.
Opportunity now. Right-footed shot took a deflection. And it will be a goal kick. I'm going to get one more look at this. My eyes weren't deceiving me. Yeah, that one was just about as obvious as you could get. Not necessarily if it was fully intentional. That's obviously up for discussion, but it was certainly a handball. So that will be a throw now for New Mexico. Stoppage back behind as looks like it is Rafa Shihus. It has been a long night for him, and looking to get stretched out by the youngster Potmar Boy.
And a couple of changes, it looks like, brewing on this Phoenix Rising sideline. Noble Akello, it seems to be among them. Looks like Shihus might need a spell here.
They're coming over. Pat Rakowski also getting stretched out a little bit. So everybody's back up on their feet. J.P. Skierce chatting with Pa Moduka. Ryan Flood, the other one, looks like he's readying to come on. The expectation is at least we'll see at least Flood as the board is going up. Ryan Flood is going to be one of the men to come on.
Yeah, it's a logical change from Pa Moduka. No Daniel Flores tonight, so you look to Flood in that left back depth chart. He pushes Acela Senge inside to act as a center back as Shihus jogs off the field here. It'll be a Senge and Potmar Boy in the middle of the back line with Flood playing as that left back now.
Good round of applause from this home crowd for the shift put in from Rafael Shihus. Tonight's one of those nights that, the defenders might not necessarily, they don't pop on the stat sheet, might not get all the love, but certainly well-deserved from that man tonight after the way he played.
Yeah, excellent performance from Shihus, the 35-year-old. showing off real quality in every phase of play. Just did not put a step wrong basically all evening long.
Ball being pinged around. Still hasn't touched the turf in a few seconds. Still waiting. And finally, ball back down. Marsu over to Asenge, who, as you said, has slid back into that center back spot. Flood takes over at left back. Dennis trying to swing one over the top. Johnson, if he can get there, it's a foot race. Lindsay just got a piece of it, and it looks like it will stay with Phoenix. Quick throw in right back to Johnson. Flood has it taken off of his feet. Nicely done by Akale. Bailey sent in deep as Asenge will chase.
And you called it out just a few minutes ago, Killian. Charlie Dennis starting to drop and freelance a little bit more in this Phoenix Rising midfield. I don't mind that at all. Needing just a spark on the ball, and it's really Avayevu and Dennis who can bring that in this Rising 11.
Senge, as Archimed came over to pester him and force the ball off of his feet. Avayevu stops, takes a little bit of a tug and a turn. Johnson played back Morsu. First start from the young Cameroonian for Phoenix Rising. As we get closer and closer to the 90.
And New Mexico United seemingly very content to sit in this 4-4-2 defensive structure with Archimed and Noel rotating centrally to try to block off the angles into central midfield for Phoenix Rising. They look quite happy back in their own half for the moment.
That's going to be out. It will be a throw to New Mexico as they'll get it back. Johnson trying to say it was already out. Well, New Mexico will get ready to toss it in from Lindsay. And the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and the ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. For the full TV listings, go to uslchampionship.com or uslleague1.com. Flood for Morsu. Morsu looking for the right wing. Colin Smith gets up, gets ahead to it, and shakes well off the line. Comes out and quickly rolls it back to Gloucester. Into the midfield, Skierce plays it down, and Asenge is having to fall away. Noel flicks one over for Akale. Lindsay for Zico Bailey, but Asenge steps in front to intercept it. Asenge looking for somewhere to go with it and just going to play it back to Rakowski. Board officially goes up 6 minutes as flag is up for offside. Remy Cabral scored in the 97th last week to get that third goal. It was the tying goal to extend the unbeaten run and the draw streak. This home crowd certainly hoping for a little more stoppage time magic. Archimed is down as Noel plays it into the midfield. He's trying to decide on whether or not he wants to keep playing. Archimed still down. Mexico is asking for a stoppage so they can go check on him. And finally, Mexico will play it out so they can.
You can see Archimed going down there on the right side of your screen, holding his midsection.
Yeah, it looks like he took a kick during that challenge. The upper body, I hope, just kind of got the wind knocked out of him. Schmidt back up and walking around. Dennis Sanchez. Is New Mexico side. As officially just went final in Irvine 0-0, Orange County and El Paso. So a point shared between the two. So at least for the night, Phoenix Rising, no matter the result, will remain inside the playoff line.
And it's been tough sledding for Phoenix Rising in this second half. Looking forward, though, not that this one is over by any means, given this team's track record. Looking forward, real challenge for this group and for Pamukkale will be how they can manage to combine their defensive solidity that we've seen for long stretches tonight, a very impressive defensive performance from this group, with a little more attacking verve. They've missed that final action in the final third. They've missed the ability to even access the final third too often tonight with this shorthanded lineup. When you get Hope Aveyevu back in this team, when you get maybe a Darius Johnson in from the jump, how can you blend your defensive solidity that's so impressive tonight with a little bit more on the attack? It's a big question for this group moving forward.
Poor pass intercepted. Zico Bailey now finds it in the midfield. As Flood going to watch this one trickle all the way back out to the back of goal. We're just a few minutes away from, honestly, one of the more shocking things that you'll see from a Phoenix Rising match. That's a 0-0, potentially. Only one other match, and that was just a few weeks ago during this run. It was that 0-0 match against Las Vegas. As Thomas Among readying to come on, and he will make his way onto the pitch as Greg Hirschnight is done. So Rakowski will put a boot through it. Arshmed fighting for it. Morsu. Extend the arms a little bit. This one chipped forward. Right onto the match Among. And some contact. And that's going to be a point to the spot. And a penalty.
Well, how's that for an impact play from Thomas Among? Changing this game within seconds of entering it. Phoenix Rising protesting. Rakowski none too pleased. Potmar Boy wearing that captain's armband. Asking for a little clarity. And ended up in the book.
So Potmar Boy with a yellow card, and now this entire match has just been flipped on its head. It was a penalty in the 97th last week that helped Phoenix. Thomas Among hadn't been on the pitch for more than 30 seconds and draws a penalty.
Yeah, from that angle, Potmar Boy coming in on Among. Certainly makes contact there. It's not a lot of contact between Marboy and Among. Oh, it's a tight call. You don't see that given all the time, certainly. There's just not a lot there, Killian, in it for me from Potmar Boy.
So now we're going to see who's going to take it. Among is going to make way to Alan Maples. Maples had a penalty scored last week, 10 minutes in. He scored a penalty as well in the first Jaeger Cup match of the year. And it's going to be up to Patrick Rakowski. Rakowski has been spectacular on penalties this season. He helped win that penalty shootout in their Jaeger Cup meeting, and it all comes down to this. New Mexico United can clinch their playoff spot if Maples can find the back of the net. Here we go. Rakowski dancing. Maples Maples. And Maples slots it home. New Mexico United has their goal and has all but locked up their spot in the playoffs.
Talon Maples, making no mistake, stepped up to the very same spot of grass where he could not beat Patrick Rakowski earlier this season in that Jaeger Cup game that you mentioned, Killian. It's Maples. Placement and power on that strike. Rakowski guesses the right way. Just has no chance to get to that ball from Talon Maples, who makes no mistake in New Mexico United are up 1-0 in minutes away from the postseason.
We'll see how much is left, if Phoenix will get a chance to try and keep this run. You can't imagine it'll be much more than put in and booted deep. So played all the way back for Rakowski. Rakowski will do just that. 9 out of the 11 on the pitch for Phoenix in the attacking third is Dennis. Will take it, try to chip it forward. Played around, up, and it'll be a throw. Taken quickly. Dennis. This one took an odd little deflection. Bounced back out towards midfield. Rakowski has to come out. Skiers says the flag is up for offside on the far side of the pitch. And that's likely going to do it. Played 8 now of the expected 6. So barring some sort of miracle, the 7-match unbeaten run is over for Phoenix. The 5 consecutive draws, snaps with it. New Mexico United picks up win number 13 and officially just a few moments away from clinching their spot in the USL Championship playoffs. Rakowski going to get at least one more chance. Now surround Bailey, headed up. Akale tries to get to it, and now Avievu comes over and he shoves Akale to the ground. Avievu going to get a yellow card. As Avievu trying to set up, Akale gets up and not happy with Charlie Dennis in his face.
Yeah, you see the shove there out of frustration from Avievu. Akale happy to draw a little bit of attention to the moment. Hard to blame him for it. And now it will be Charlie Dennis, this team's designated set-piece taker, unless Rakowski wants it.
Rakowski trying to tell Dennis to go up. Get everybody up there. So, yeah, Rakowski going to be the one to take it.
It's a strange choice. I'd almost rather flip it. And if you want to set numbers forward, put Rakowski in the box and let Dennis serve it in with that peach of a left foot.
Rakowski going with his left foot. Avievu gets his head to it. It's cleared up and out. It'll be a throw. They're going to continue to play. Dennis, cross back in again, elevating high up, was among our Schmidt, and that is it. 1-0 New Mexico United. They split the season series, and New Mexico punches their ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, huge victory for New Mexico United. Stayed in this game, did not give Phoenix much room to breathe in the attack, and did just enough with some late game substitutions from Dennis Sanchez. It's Thomas Among, who earns a fairly fortunate penalty off that Potmar boy foul. Talon Maples finishes the job.
Maples with the penalty. Chris shakes. A clean sheet. And celebrations for 13 there in red, as he gets to do a little dance. 1-0, New Mexico United. They take the victory. Don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap things up for you on the other side of this break.
When you trust your heart to Abrazo Health, you're choosing one of the Valley's largest networks of cardiologists.
Nationally recognized for the heart care we provide and a dedicated heart hospital.
You're choosing a team who has dedicated their lives to help save yours.
We are here for every heartbeat, from preventative diagnostic testing
to performing complex, life-saving heart surgeries.
In matters of the heart, we believe it's a journey that we all take together.
Because heart care is better together.
Hey, just a reminder that me and some friends are headed to the credit card bill tomorrow.
Again? I hate that you're always going to the credit card. Why can't you stay here and do things with us?
You don't generate the same interest. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Get your money working and keep more of it at home with 0% interest for 6 months on new Visa credit cards at America First.
Billy, I need help with the clicker.
Yeah, wait, 1 second, Grandma. This guy's gonna buy my car.
Billy, you still there?
Okay,
You need Carvana. What's your plate number?
Boss, M-O-V.
Vehicle features, no accidents, right?
No.
Good. Generating offer. Carvana can pick it up tomorrow.
That's an amazing offer. But do you still need help with the clicker?
I'll ask your sister.
Sell your car the easy way with Carvana.
Back in Phoenix, full-time, 1-0. New Mexico United snaps Phoenix Rising's 7-match unbeaten run and punch their ticket to the USL Championship playoffs. Killian McClatchy, Joe Lowry. An exciting match tonight. Ends on the right foot of Talon Maples from the penalty spot. Bit of an iffy penalty maybe, but nonetheless, it is the difference maker. And Phoenix Rising makes these last couple weeks just a little more stressful.
Yeah, there'll be frustration certainly from this Phoenix group. You can see it on the faces of a lot of these guys. What I will say is Phoenix maybe didn't do quite enough to win this game, right? They kept it close for a lot of this match, did a good job of denying New Mexico United obvious opportunities, but never had enough in the attack to really go out and claim all 3 points. And when you leave games tight, those kinds of moments where a call goes against you can really come back to bite.
I see Pamoduka right next to his young captain, Potmar Boy, who is the man who conceded that penalty in the foul. Here are your highlights presented by Heel Rivers Resorts and Casinos. First half, 0-0. This was the best opportunity of the first half. Little volleyed strike from Zico Bailey to second chance. Not able to find it. This was the best look from Phoenix in the first half. It was a little bit of a deflection. Good save, though, by Chris Shakes, who played really well tonight in goal.
Yeah, good goalkeeping really on both sides for a lot of this game. Rakovsky coming up big with a save in the second half. Phoenix Rising tried to test New Mexico United on dead balls and had some real joy in that phase of play, but couldn't ever create quite enough. Cleanly, this really was the best moment of the game for Phoenix Rising when it comes to their attack. But Chris Shakes yet again coming up big for New Mexico.
Yeah, he made some huge saves. And this is another good opportunity for New Mexico United. But nothing really came of it. And this looked like it was a match kind of destined for 0-0 as we were going through it and watching. There's a look from Carl Saint, but right at Shakes again, another easy save. It just kind of, as the match kept going on, I was like, all right, where's it going to be? Might not really be anything in it. As here is the look at the penalty that was given. Potmar Boy comes flying in, some contact in the box. We were saying in real time, you watch it, you look back on it, you didn't really agree.
Yeah, it's just awfully soft there. Potmar Boy certainly does come in on Thomas Among, but there's not a lot of contact from Marboy into Among. There's arms going both ways. Ultimately, it's given New Mexico United finish this game off on the right foot, as you said, Killian, of Talon Maples. This New Mexico group, thrilled to be where they are right now, having clinched a playoff spot. Phoenix Rising really struggling to pick up wins, even at home here at 38th and Washington.
That was the 5th goal in the year for Maples' second consecutive match that ends on a late stoppage time penalty here in Phoenix. Last time it went Phoenix's way to get a point. Tonight it does the opposite. Here are your final stats. New Mexico United Still won the possession battle, so that stays alive for them. But 10-9 shots, 3 on target from each side. As I said, it just didn't really ever feel like it was enough really from either side. I think New Mexico United, if anything, you could say, hey, maybe they deserved the 3 points a little bit more, but in the grand scheme of things, wasn't a ton separating these two.
No, not at all. And it seemed like New Mexico were going to be okay to leave this with a scoreless draw when they sit deeper in that 4-4-2 block as the second half wears on. What I will say about Phoenix is this is much closer to New Mexico United's first 11 than it is Phoenix Rising. So if you think about the personnel missing from the jump for this Phoenix Rising group, not really at all close to their best midfield group, and yet you saw some bright spots from Jean-Enrique Morceau, Hopateevu coming off the bench and reminding us of what he can do. Curious to see if Rising can play with this sort of intensity and focus from the jump next time out when they have something closer to that first-choice group.
Yeah, well, they've only got 3 matches left. They head east, a big one against North Carolina. Then they return home from San Antonio and then finish the season at Pittsburgh. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. For my partner, Joe Lowry, my name is Killian McClatchy. Big thanks to our entire crew here tonight. I want to thank you for watching this presentation of the USL Championship. New Mexico United 1-0 over Phoenix Rising. New Mexico will see you in the playoffs in a few weeks' time.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.